We're Compound Everything. We talk money, markets, and investing and everything in between. We're married and we are two self-taught investors who just love to yap about
Investing in business.
all things investing and business. Today we're going to talk about our Airbnb that we bought in 2024.
Yep.
So an opportunity came about for us to buy a cabin. It was a short-term rental. It's not a long-term. It can only really run in our climate, which is central Canada, from late May to very early September, and then we got to close it down.
You've got about 4 or 5 months where you can have it open.
Man, 5 months is stretching it because it's not winterized, and so as soon as the freeze happens, it has to be winterized or else your pipes are going to freeze. So this is new to us because we mainly invest in equities.
Yeah, stocks and bonds.
Some bonds, mainly equities.
We have done real estate before, though.
We have done
farmland.
We've done farmland, but a short-term rental is new for us.
That's new for us.
That's new for us. So this is a new venture. So we thought after having it for a year and a half, and we've done, let's say, one full season. We did a half a season the year before.
We had to get it ready because it had some warts.
Yeah, and so we've done a full season, so we thought we'd talk about it. But why don't you give some history on the cabin itself?
So the cabin itself is on a large lake close to where we live, about an hour and a half
I think the
from our
11th
place.
largest lake in the entire world.
Yeah, so it's a large lake, and it's a lakefront cabin, and so while lakefront cabins, beachfront. It's not lakefront, it's beachfront. So effectively, the backyard, front yard, whatever you want to call it, backs right onto the actual beach. So you go from the cabin, you walk, I don't know,
20 steps.
Maybe 20 steps.
Maybe 15 steps.
20 steps.
Not short legs.
Yeah, and you're at the beach. And so, which is quite nice. So it's a very desirable location. So the opportunity came up for us to acquire this cabin. So we thought, why not? We didn't really want to use it personally because
it was under unfortunate circumstances that the cabin came up for sale.
Yeah,
I will say, but
right. Not the situation we would have wanted to see for the people who had to sell it, but it was what it was, and so
here we are.
We decided to buy it. We couldn't let the opportunity pass by, but we didn't really want a cabin for our personal use because me being a physician, I don't have a lot of time off in the summer, and so we thought, well, maybe let's try and run an Airbnb.
I don't like to be away from you, and I don't like to really be away from our home for too long, and like the kids, it's just not my personality. So for us to have a cabin just for personal use made very little sense.
Economic
sense, yeah.
So we thought, well, let's try and make a little business venture out of it because why the heck not?
Right. Like it will probably get used all summer if it doesn't work out, or we can sell it.
Yeah. So a little bit more background on the cabin. It's beachfront, as we mentioned. It's in a desirable location because it's about an hour and a half away from our city, which has quite a large population. So there's a fair amount of potential renters that would be involved there. And the only trouble with it is it's a seasonal thing. So it can't operate
the price
year-round.
Of the cabin sells as if it's not seasonal, but
including the property tax.
Including the property tax. I think we pay as much property tax on the cabin as we pay for our house.
We do, yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yep.
And yet we can only rent it out for, it's actually wild. So the cabin situation in our province is crazy because even if we couldn't rent it, we could only use it for a short time if it's not winterized. And yet it costs as much as a home in a lot of ways.
Yeah. So that's kind of the demographics behind the cabin. It has 4 bedrooms.
It's a very large cabin.
It's a large cabin.
For that area.
Yeah, the total surface area of the cabin is about 2,000 square feet. Yeah. And then it has a separate detached guest cabin and washroom. So it's technically a cabin that has 4 bedrooms and 1 bathroom in the main cabin, and then the
2 bedrooms in the guest
bedrooms in the guest cabin and a detached washroom, which is kind of
it has a washroom in the main cabin and then a detached washroom from the guest cabin.
And then it's got a garage, which is really in poor shape.
But it's got a very large yard.
But it's got a very large yard for the area. So
I think we have one of the biggest.
It's kind of like a pie lot there,
and
it's quite deep and quite wide, which is quite nice.
So that gives you an idea. Now, that is like what it is, but the cabin itself is old.
It's a fixer-upper.
It's old.
It's got windows from, I would say, the 60s or 70s. There's been at least 3 additions on it in the past. I was under there this past summer because I had to do a little bit of work on the cabin itself, and certain sections are insulated and certain sections are not insulated.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, wow, this has had a few additions on it.
And we think about winterizing it, but then because it's an investment, we really have to think like, what is the return on capital?
Yeah.
And I'm not so sure that where it's located, it would rent out enough in the winter months to make winterizing it an economically wise choice.
Well, and let's talk about that a little bit. So with part of Airbnb is you can either manage it yourself or you can pay someone to manage it for you. And so the Airbnb experience for us on the platform, maybe we'll talk about that first.
Sure.
Let's talk about the platform. You run the Airbnb,
Yes,
pretty much, and I do a lot of the maintenance and
Yes.
whatnot
Yes.
on it, what I can do. What have you found the experience to be like on Airbnb?
so I love the Airbnb platform.
It's very good. As a person who's rented off Airbnb before, I like it as a renter.
Yeah.
And you've used it many, many times for our family vacations.
Yeah, I use it both ways. I like it both ways, but I really love it as a host because I never have to worry about who is renting my place. And we've had friends say like, oh, like you don't know them and blah, 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 blah. There is so much social proof on Airbnb and everyone wants, if you use Airbnb a lot, as we do on to rent as well, you want good reviews because you know that the host, and for those of you who don't know this, the host really does look at all your reviews. So when I get someone inquiring to rent, I just click on their profile and I don't even read all the reviews. I'll read like the first 3. And if they're good, I'll be like, yep, right away. It takes 30 seconds. And then I also know that review is important to them.
Yes.
So they're probably going to be really good renters. I had one person it was a family, and they had they were new. Their account was like very new, and they had no. And
you got to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere. So I just messaged them in the app, and I said, I noticed you don't have any reviews, and you're new to the platform. Can you just tell me a little more about why you want to use this and who's using it? And it all seemed very good and great, and they were a great family to have. And I was like, yeah, that's no problem. And then he actually ended up giving me way more information than I needed. I was like, you don't need to give you like your entire family history. But it's just so easy. And then there was one group I actually said no to.
Yeah.
I was like, I just declined it or whatnot. And I have heard of people having bad renters. We didn't experience that.
Thankfully not yet.
We haven't had any of that happen yet. But one of her advice to me was, if you see someone say guests better suited for a hotel, we all know what that means.
Yeah.
It means they're probably going to trash your place.
Yeah. You had spoken to someone who was an Airbnb host.
But I have had zero problem with Airbnb letting people use our cabin who we don't know, and they actually leave it in such pristine condition. You walk in. And I mean, obviously, I still clean and sanitize everything because you have to if you're a good host. But it's crazy how well people leave things. And often they go above and beyond. And I know if you're on Reddit on the Airbnb forum, people complain about all the chores. But we don't have a lot of, like, I purposely don't charge a cleaning fee. Mm-hmm. And I purposely don't put chores in because I know, I just say if you can make sure the dishes are done and the garbages are taken out.
Yeah.
Because mostly you don't want it to smell like garbage.
Yeah.
And then we do all the laundry, we do like everything. And it's always better. It is always better when I walk in. And there's also a relief in having, because people have said like, oh, well, you also rent to people you know, which we do.
Yeah.
Which I've also never had a problem with because we know them. But the thing about renting to someone on Airbnb is that when something goes wrong, you don't feel as bad because you just refund them the day.
Yes.
We've only had that happen once with one person we didn't know.
So one of our pumps went for the water.
We run on well water there. There's no plumbing. There's zero plumbing in that area.
Yeah, there's no facilities for plumbing.
Well, I guess there's plumbing. There's no municipal water. It's all well water.
Sorry, it's all well water and cisterns holding tanks and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to pump out the sewage and you have to have a well dug or have some sort of cistern to hold water.
Yes.
And so we have a well. And I'm not sure if it was the pump that went or the well went dry. One of the two.
We still to this day don't know. I think the well went dry because we had a low water year and it's a shallow well.
Yeah. Something happened with the water and they of course contacted us and
we have no running water.
Fortunately, I think it started working, like that was in the evening. They contacted us late in the evening.
And it was working by the morning, which is why I think it was the well, because it probably
the water table improved. And so we just refunded them the day, and they were checking out that following day anyways. So, but we felt bad as hosts because now they didn't have running water.
I apologized profusely, and they were checking out like in the morning.
Yeah.
And so we have a lot of drinkable water, those big, huge like things that you put on the water.
For water, because you can't drink the water because it's well water.
So we just said for whatever you need, like dishes, even like filling up the back tank of the toilet, just use all the water that you can.
Yeah.
And we'll refund you the entire like
day
stay that you don't have water for.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it also happened with people we know, but that was different because the pump broke.
The pump did break. That's
so we had to like drive out after your work, fix the pump. And when it's people you know, you just feel like so much worse.
Yeah.
Right? And also it's I don't want to say it's awkward, but like I was like so and so like we'll give you your money back, and of course she knows me too, so she's like no, don't worry about it. Whereas like if there's no relationship, when I said I'm going to refund you the money on Airbnb, they're like, yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Because they don't also feel bad for me because they don't know me, so they took it, and it was a way that we could like right the wrong.
Yes. Well, and go back to the concept of the Airbnb social proof. So on the platform,
yeah, because I want good reviews too.
We want good reviews because we want good renters, and so it's kind of a virtuous cycle. So if you have good reviews as a host, hopefully people who have good reviews as renters will want to rent your place.
And we already have booked up for this coming up season repeat
renters, which is quite nice, right?
And I will say that we are working on a redundant system for our water now that all this has happened.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a work in progress, right? Yeah. So it's like any business. When you first start out, there's going to be hiccups, of course. Yeah. And it's just the way that things go.
That it is.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the Airbnb platform and whatnot. How do you like being a host? How do you like running a property? It's not worth it for us to have a property manager because we don't make enough money to have to pay someone to go out there, because it's not like Kissimmee, Florida, where like there's so many short-term rentals. There's like companies that you can pay, and we'd have to pay one person like a pretty substantial amount to get out there and do all the work we need.
If we had more than one, then we could probably make a model like that work.
In that area.
Right, in that area. If we had maybe 3 or 4, then you could make that kind of model work, where you had a property manager who would mow the lawn and deal with plumbing issues and things like that. But because it's a single rental, that's it, we're kind of it. So running the Airbnb itself, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not a huge money maker for us. I would make much more money doing a day of work myself, but it is interesting to do. So from that standpoint, it does pay the bills. It allows us to...
It pays the bills for that property.
Correct. It pays the bills and then some for that property. And it pays for actually some of the renovations as well. I mean, we had to build a new deck last year, which we did, which the rental covered the cost of the new deck. I mean, because everything ages and whatnot.
It paid for the property tax.
Paid for the property tax,
for the insurance. It paid for
electrical,
all the bills that came in.
Yep.
And then we had just enough money to do a few
smaller
capital
rentals.
What do you call them? Capital projects, I guess.
Right. We replaced a door that was rotten on the guest cabin, and we rebuilt a deck, and
that was also rotten on the guest cabin.
That was also rotten on the guest cabin. So things like that. Now I don't mind doing stuff like that. I actually like building and doing things like that. So from that standpoint, it kind of feeds a hobby for me, in a sense.
Right.
To build things and do that kind of thing. But if you don't like doing that, you probably wouldn't like to manage a property. Mm-hmm. And we also, the year before, we renovated a bathroom completely. Like we gutted the thing and we completely re-renovated the bathroom. Yeah. And so that was, again, if you like doing that, you might like to run an Airbnb. If you don't like doing that, maybe not for you, especially if it's somewhat remote, because getting someone out there and paying them, probably the renovation we did would have cost, I'm going to guess, $10,000 to do it if we didn't do it ourselves.
Yeah. So for instance, our roof leaked.
Yeah.
And because we're remote and we need to get the main cabin done, but also we do need to get all the other structures done as well. They're not leaking yet, but they're probably getting close.
Yeah.
And we asked around to a few local companies in the city, and it was like $80,000 to $100,000 to get the roof done. And at that point,
which is insane. Yeah,
because the cabin, that's like 25% of the cost of the entire, more than
30%
of the cost of the entire cabin.
Yeah.
And so it's like at that point,
do you knock it over?
Do you just knock it over because the cabin's getting old?
Mm-hmm.
So that is going to be a huge expense. But we're working with some people to get that done, and hopefully for much cheaper. So there are headaches there because it's like, if we had to hire, which we don't, but if we had to hire one of those companies to go out, I can't even imagine how many seasons it would take to make our money back on.
We wouldn't necessarily make our money back through the rental in that case. We'd have to make our money back through capital appreciation. In that respect. So it does get a little tricky in that sense. Now, one of the things that we've learned through running the Airbnb, actually, and this is one of your concerns in the beginning, was where's price discovery? So initially in the first year, we actually way undercharged. Mm-hmm. And so we kind of learned where price discovery is, and we've kind of actually managed to ratchet up the rents a little bit and still fill up, which is actually quite nice.
And I think we could even increase our prices more. And we probably doubled in the second summer that we ran it. I think we doubled what we made.
Yeah.
Right? And then I think this year we're probably going to maybe get close to double again, hopefully. And I think we can actually increase the price.
Even more so.
Simply because of the location of the cabin.
The location, I think, in an Airbnb like this is obviously key. Yeah. And so for us, again, because we manage it, it's relatively close for us. And, at the end of the day, while we don't use it for personal use, we can go out there, and while we're cleaning it, we take a day to clean it so we can actually go and enjoy the beach for the day.
I can go and sit on the beach.
We can go sit on the beach for a little bit.
Whatever,
So from that standpoint, while it's not personal use necessarily, we can at least go and enjoy the part of the summer out there anyways, and while we're doing things.
And like, if this was simply an investment, it would suck.
Yes.
Honestly. But one of the reasons that we are like fixing it and renting it out is because the thought is maybe in time we will take it personal.
Sure.
And it won't be a business. Maybe. And if not, like as we get older and we're like, we still really don't want to go down to the beach that often, then we'll just sell it.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we can get more than we paid for it.
Maybe. But that's never guaranteed. Everyone thinks real estate increases forever and ever.
Yeah.
Right? But it doesn't. And so we don't know for sure.
No, we don't know for sure. But the price we paid for it, we'll at least get that much for it.
Yeah.
Probably more.
For inflation, we'll probably at least break even.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say that this was our greatest investment. It was a experiment.
It was an experiment, and in a sense, a labor of love. The way it turned out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's some, I will say, like, there's some emotional attachment for us to the cabin.
Of course, yeah.
So there is that. So the funny thing is, one thing that maybe our viewers don't know is that we liquidated some positions in order to purchase this cabin. And one of the positions that we did indeed liquidate to buy this cabin was Bitcoin.
And the other one was gold.
And I forgot about that. So when we
gold before it really ran.
Oh, okay, so
which was substantial.
It was a substantial run. I totally forgot about the gold part because I always just see the big. Okay, so what did we liquidate Bitcoin at to buy this cabin?
96,000 Canadian.
Canadian, okay, and at some point it hit like 150,000 Canadian. What did we sell? What did we liquidate gold at?
Gold, which was much more of a position, which was a larger position by a significant amount. We liquidated at, I think it was in around 2024. I'm going to guesstimate it was about 2,500 an ounce at the time.
So it's gone up 100%.
Yes.
And our cabin has definitely
not gone up 100%.
And we spent money to fix it.
That's correct.
So
from a investment standpoint, we would have been better off sitting on our hands.
So if you actually think of it that way, we took a substantial loss.
That is correct.
Yeah. So since we're talking about investing, we probably should disclose that.
Yeah.
That we sold some positions that have done spectacularly well in the past few years for properties which have pretty much remained in our area stagnant. They haven't necessarily gone down.
They haven't
but they
haven't
really.
But they haven't appreciated.
And cabin country is always a little different, but cabins went through their huge boom already in 2021, 22.
Yeah.
And then they've just kind of stagnated, and they've gone up only because inflation.
Yeah.
Not because we've had a property boom in cabin country. So that's always like, every time I think of that, and I'm like, well, we're not, what is Richard Taylor say? Econs, where it's like we're robots with no emotion.
Oh, yeah.
Because we wanted to, we knew the people who own the cabin, and they were very sad to sell it because it was important to them and the family. and it was hard for us to watch that. So sometimes we're driven by emotion, and that means you take some losses.
Yeah. Well, and again, I mean,
and emotion is not bad. I do not regret the decision.
And really, money is a tool, right? It's a tool to be enjoyed.
Yeah.
So if you find enjoyment in running the Airbnb and, providing it to other people and, going down there to do maintenance and repairs and, even going and enjoying the beach a little bit on your own there, because we wouldn't have that opportunity if we didn't purchase the cabin. We wouldn't be going out there to ever. Like we wouldn't be able to have that opportunity to go enjoy the beach in that location.
And we can always say, I don't want to Airbnb it anymore, and just close that part of it.
And then if we purchase it.
Right, or maybe if one of our kids wants to or whatever. But I also love Airbnb because it makes me so happy to rent to families.
Yes.
And you know that. Mm-hmm. Like when I get to rent to families with lots of kids and I get emails back and thank you cards and all of this saying like it was so hard for us to find a place that would let our family go because we have 4 kids. And I know that. I know that's hard because we have 5 kids and it's very difficult to find places that are affordable.
Yeah.
Because we could charge much more.
Yeah.
But I choose not to because I specifically want families with lots of children to be able to enjoy a vacation where, yes, we can make money, but also they can afford it.
Yeah.
And that makes me like so happy.
Yeah. It's our way of giving to them a little bit.
I love when, I mean, it's not always families, but when families who have like a lot of children use it, that makes me like really happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes it all worth it, right? So is there anything else you would say, good or bad about the Airbnb experience?
Okay, well, it is a lot of work.
It is a fair amount of work.
It's a lot of work. Like,
I wouldn't say it's a lot of work, but...
Yeah, because you're not driving down there every second day to change the bedding and do the laundry because you're at work.
That's a good point. Okay.
But I'm literally driving there by myself like every 2 or 3 days.
But there's ways we could manage that a little better if we extended the rental stays.
Which I did. I said you're not allowed to do under 3 days because I was getting so tired of driving. Yeah. We don't have laundry on site.
That's the other thing.
Right? Because I don't...
But that's something we could change.
It is, but there's a lot of reasons why there's no laundry on site right now with the water situation.
Yeah.
So I'm bringing all the laundry back. I'm doing it at home. I'm driving it back out. Like, it's a lot of work for me.
Sure.
And I'm still raising children. And I'm still managing our own house. And it's not like a lot of work. Like, it's not like a full-time job, but I'm not getting paid for it.
Yes.
I'm just doing it because all the money we make goes back into to like the property tax or whatever. But you know that in September when we lock up, I'm just so happy.
Relieved.
I'm relieved. I never looked forward to winter here before because I absolutely hate winter. But now the one thing I love about winter is I'm not running that.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. It's a break and I like doing it. But when we lock up, I'm ready to be done.
Yeah. So it's not a huge moneymaker for us, unfortunately, at least not in its current state.
It's just a break even.
It's a little better than break even. We do make a little bit off of it. I mean, if you take out the capital expenses, I mean, which those are just improvements and whatnot. Yep. So from that standpoint,
and this isn't talking any capital appreciation. We're just talking cash flow here.
Correct. Yeah. So it's not a huge cash flower. So I mean, there's probably ways that we could do that, but I mean, it is work. It is a business, and it's like any other business. It's going to take time.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always, in the nature of the business, in essence, you're in the hotel industry, it doesn't always follow the 9 to 5, Monday to Friday hours.
No.
You might get calls at 7 p.m. on a Saturday saying, oh, our water doesn't work anymore.
Right, and then you might have plans with your own family, and you're like, yeah, sorry, we got to bail because we got to drive out an hour and 45 to hopefully be able to fix the renter's water situation.
That's
then we got to drive back, and by the time we get back, it's like past midnight. Or last year you were up on the roof. It was raining. Someone said like your roof is leaking.
Yeah.
Now what's crazy to me about that story is that the family, and thankfully they're a lovely family, and we know them.
Yeah.
So it all worked out. But the family who rented said that they had rented because we were like, we're so sorry. We're like going to come out there like right away. As soon as you're done work, we're going to like drive out there because I don't know much about roof repair. So I had to wait for you. And when we got there, I went in to visit with the family for a bit. And I was talking to the woman, and she said that they had gone to another cabin at Clear Lake, I think it was, which is like in another area, but about the same distance away. And she said they had a leak in that roof as well. And they called the landlord, And they said the puddle was like big like that. And no one came. They just had a puddle in their cabin.
Oh, wow.
And if you know anything about this area, they charge an arm and a leg.
Oh, yeah. They charge much.
I'd be like
more than
horrified that they were like, oh, yeah, okay, we'll get to it when we get to it. And you're just like living with a puddle of water.
Yeah.
And they're not even trying.
Right.
So that blew my mind. So I'm like, okay, if there's a problem, even if we can't fix it, I at least want to go out and be good host and try to fix it.
Acknowledge it.
I want to do, and if I can't fix it, then I'm going to make it monetarily correct and give them their money back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Airbnb experience has been interesting. It's not a huge money maker for us, but it does allow certain opportunities to do things with the real estate that we would not have otherwise been able to do.
Yeah.
And I know you're not quite as keen on the real estate investment as I am, but I think over time, given the location of it, if there's going to be any appreciation, it's going to be beachfront that appreciates first.
The other thing I do want to say is that we're taxed on it as a passive investment.
Yeah.
And that's a load of crap because
there's nothing passive about that.
Our
investment.
Farmland is passive.
Sure.
That is the most passive investment we have. That's
Yeah.
even more passive than our equities because we don't have to keep an eye on it. The farmer we rent to is just like they're a wonderful family.
Yeah.
And it's easy peasy. That's passive. Airbnb, and I'm going to guess that long-term rental is the opposite of passive.
Oh, it is not passive at
It
all.
is very active.
Yeah.
And so the fact that they tax you as passive is absolutely evil because it's not.
No, it's absolutely not passive.
Yeah. So I know you say like, I don't like it as much, and that's true. But if the opportunity came for the right price, would I buy another Airbnb short term?
Because we did look at this. We did look at doing another one.
Yeah, we looked at 3 or 4 cabins last year to buy another one. And the answer is yes, but it would have to be the right price. And right now, the cabins, it's just not, having done this and now knowing about where the price point is and how much you make, the price of the property is not worth what you can make in our short summer season.
Yeah. I think that's a good take on things. I mean, if it was winterizable, you could look at doing some alternative plays like ice fishing and things like that because the lake freezes solid, and that is fairly popular.
Ice fishing is very popular. My guess is that if you had a good shack out there and access to the lake, like which we do, you could rent that out almost every weekend to ice fishers. Yeah.
And so is it worth it? Don't know. I mean, for us, the amount that we'd have to spend to invest into the cabin to make it worthwhile probably wouldn't justify the payoff at this juncture.
Yeah, I agree.
So anyway.
So would you do it again?
I would. I enjoy having the property. Like it's a lovely property. It's something I didn't want to see go. I would make the investment again. Is it the most monetarily rewarding investment? Well, no, in retrospect, but I didn't know gold was going to close to double from where it was. The gold hedge that we sold was a hedge. It was just that. So I couldn't have imagined the way it would play out.
Property's a hedge too. So
property's a hedge as well. So we've traded one hedge for another.
Bitcoin's speculative, so it's like...
Right. Yeah, I would do it again. And so yeah, I think it's been interesting.
Yeah. So now having done, one thing I will say, if you're thinking about it, like, yeah, you can rent to people you don't know if you're using a good platform with social proof. That's not scary. Like don't let that be the reason you're afraid.
Yeah. So if the opportunity comes up for you to purchase a good property and cash flow it, but you're afraid of the Airbnb and renting to people you don't know, the short-term rental, or even, I think they're doing even kind of more medium and longer-term rentals.
I can't speak on that though, because
that's not where we are at.
I haven't done that.
But for the short-term part of things, we have, in our limited experience, have not had any issues with it. That social proof has been very helpful and very important.
Very, very, very good. And although one thing, this is a side note, but I did not know how much people drink.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Like, I was like, there was one party that went in, and I was like, there were bags and bags of empties, and I was like, did they just, like, were they drunk the whole time? Like, it was, and that's, like, not uncommon.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just empties upon, and I know I keep seeing these studies where it's like, oh, no one drinks anymore, and I'm like, not in our Airbnb.
No, it was...
It's so, I'm like, I don't even, and then you know how many people were at the cabin, right? And then you see how much alcohol, I'm like, how did they live? Are they still alive?
Are they still intoxicated?
So that's just a funny thing because it's like, oh wow, like, okay. But again, even with all that drinking, nothing was trashed. Everything was like perfectly perfect.
It was. They were wonderful guests.
Yeah. So would you do long term now? Because I'm really afraid of long term, given the laws for rental in our province. So would you do long term?
That gets a little dicier. I don't think you have the same social proof possibilities there. I mean, with short term rentals, it's fairly frequent, so people go on holidays and whatnot. But if you're
get a bad renter, they're out in at most a week.
Right, or even a needy renter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily bad, but they're maybe needier.
Yeah. Some renters are more needy than others.
Right, exactly. So I think it'd be difficult because a good long-term renter would be someone who stays in your place for a long period of time. So there's not that same opportunity for social proof, right? Whereas a good Airbnb renter, they're going to do, long or short-term vacations fairly frequently and going to have built up many reviews from many different landlords or hosts, I guess we call it. Is the proper way to say it, hosts. And so that's a tougher one.
I think that pretty much sums up
our Airbnb experience.
And we are long Airbnb stock.
Yes.
As well. And after our experience here, we actually are even more bullish on Airbnb. And I know that as of January 1st, 2026, which is today, people are joking that Airbnb is like acting like a stable coin because it hasn't moved, which is true. But I'm so bullish that platform, using it now both as a guest and as a host. It's so easy. It's so seamless. It's just, and everyone complains like, oh, the chores and the cleaning fee, and it's like that's just part of doing business.
Yeah, of course.
Right? That's just a price of doing business if you want to use someone else's home. And yeah, if I was single, would I go to a hotel? Probably, but with a family, hotels don't work. And even if I was single, hotels are dank, like not in like the dank meme kind of way, but dank like there's like one small window. It's gross. Yeah. It's like, no, I want a home with lots of space, and I want lots of windows, and I want my own kitchen, and maybe that's just like the North American in me. I don't know, but
even when you and I have gone away, we've rented Airbnbs often. Oftentimes we rent Airbnbs just because, and it's just the two of us.
Yep.
For a couple of reasons. One, we don't necessarily want to go for restaurant food every day.
No, it gets gross.
Because it gets gross, and you feel gross eating restaurant food all the time.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, if there's some downtime, I just don't want to spend all my time in a hotel room.
Yeah, because it's like you're sitting on a bed.
There's really nothing to do.
You're sleeping in the same bed, like.
And anything there is to do is in a common area, which is
I just
awkward.
don't like hotels. To me, are just like they make me sleepy. They make me tired. There's so many people in the lobby, and so like is a cleaning fee $150, $200? Yeah, is it worth it for me to have a house? 100%.
Yeah. So anyway, that's our experience with Airbnb.
Yes.
I don't think there's anything more to add at this point.
If you've had any interesting stories from your short-term rental, we'd love to hear them in the comments. And if you can like and subscribe this video, it really helps us. And we will see you in February.